All right, let's call this October 14th Essex County Work Session to order. April, you do a roll call, please?
Chairman Akers.
Present?
Vice Chairman Gill.
Present.
Supervisor Johnson.
Here.
Supervisor Magruder.
Here.
And Supervisor Smith.
Here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our update on the General Assembly update with Delegate Hodges is going to be rescheduled. We've invited him to speak at our town hall meeting on the 27th, so we'll look to hear him then. Next, we have Bay Transit.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm David Foles, Transit Director for Bay Transit, and I'd like to recognize Stanley Clark. He's our board member for Bay Aging. Also Pat Sanders, our Operations Manager, and Diana Cunningham, our Operations Specialist, are here. We'd like to present to you to change our River Ride deviated fixed route into a micro-transit system. We've done this in West Point and also in Gloucester, and it's been very successful. The micro-transit is more like an Uber or Lyft style ride. You'll use your smartphone, smart device, dial it up, call your ride. It'll be there within about 15 minutes usually. If you don't have a smart device, you can still call into our ride line and schedule a ride that way. But it is a same day service instead of having to call ahead. And also you won't have to be standing at a bus stop waiting for the deviated fixed one to get there. We use in a smaller vehicle. It's more fuel efficient. Does not require a CDL driver, so there will be a cost savings for the county and also us. In West Point, when we did this, we went from about 80 rides a month to 400 rides a month. So it's been very productive. With your approval, we'd like to switch over starting in December.
Given where this is at, is there really any action needed for the county on this? Because most of this happens within the town limits.
Well, we'll have the microtransit will be about a 10-mile square zone. It'll run from Airport Road down to the trailer park south on 17, up to the industrial park, so it'll cover other areas also. It's going to encompass more area, give more use to more people.
Is there, I'm assuming as we go through budget time, is there any impact in budgetary?
It's about $6,000 less to operate.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know that I have much to say.
Any more questions?
No more questions.
Okay.
Well, since you brought the town up, are you seeking the town council approval as well?
We did. We spoke
got
to
that last night?
them August.
Oh, okay, you already done that?
Yes, we already spoke to them and they've approved it.
Okay.
So
And
you
we just-
need an official approval from this board, or just,
We're just presenting to make sure you don't have any opposition to us changing over.
Right on.
Okay?
I've got one other question.
Okay.
Is I know you can order the ride through your phone, through the app. Are you also paying for it that way, or are you paying when you get on the bus?
Paying when you get on the bus. Right now, we are working on trying to get it set up through the app, and it's $1 a ride instead
Yes,
of $2 a ride, so.
Yeah, okay.
Just a couple comments, David. When you look at the Bay Transit report and you see how many lives that this program touches and how important this is to the community, I'm pleased that you're actually going to be doing a system like this for a more direct, and it sounds like, and I'd be very interested to see the data, so please make sure that we get this data, how many more ridership, because I think you're exactly right. I think you're going to see that increase. I think you're going to see people use it more. So
Yes,
I'm
thank
glad
you.
you're doing what you're doing. Keep up the good work. This is really important to folks that need to go to the doctors, to go to the jobs, to pick up groceries, whatever, the pharmacy. This is good stuff, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
And I think as that comes up, you might be able to work with the EDA with things that kind of market businesses throughout the town and county. It might just be a good way to get some additional advertising that could work with you guys to have brochures or pamphlets or anything like that.
All right, thank you.
And are they still gonna be picking up at the stops that are throughout the county?
We will not. We'll start educating the riders. Our drivers will be educated. Our software company will start sending out media, will news ads on the radio.
So this is door-to-door pickup. So the question is, what are they gonna do with, like, out there on Airport Road? I know there's a stop there and a structure. Are you gonna keep those for a while and see what happens?
We'll keep the structures and we'll go ahead and pick up the signs to get them out of the way
Okay.
for now.
Very good.
Sydney?
What is the designated zone?
Designated zone is Airport Road down to the trailer park at 17, just past
Breeze Fork.
Breeze Fork, yes.
So
And
we-
then go up to the industrial park where John Deere is and back in there.
So that's the designated zone for Essex County.
That'll be Essex County and
And the town.
town of Tappahannock.
Okay, all right. Now, you say you tried this at other counties, and you found this to be a lot more accessible, and because it's a lot more accessible, the folks are using it more.
Yes, sir. We started out with one microtransit in Gloucester. We've got 3 buses running now from right there at the hospital all the way down to Gloucester Point.
So how are you saving $6,000? Are you using more vehicles or less vehicles?
It's per vehicle. We're using 3 down there, which got rid of 3. They had 3 fixed route buses. So we just replaced those. West Point, we had 1 deviated fixed route, and now we have 1 microtransit.
This way people won't have to wait, and right to their door, they come out, they go right to their location. Very efficient.
Yes.
Very efficient.
How many fixed ride buses do you have in Essex?
Essex, we're going to start with 1 to replace the River Ride, and then we'll see what the
I might shoot that done.
demand is.
You just did.
If we see that we can use more, we'll work on increasing them.
Okay. And you have them available?
We have a couple of buses available, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you.
I like that, Rob. I like that.
Thank you.
Next, just a quick update, McClure Energy Study update. Yeah, we have signed the letter of intent. We had a conference call, I believe it was late last week, with McClure, April, Jay, and myself. And I think we're scheduling something in the next couple weeks to have them out there to start their, is it next week? So next Wednesday to start the audit process, going through county buildings. It was approved last night at the school board meeting. They directed their superintendent to also sign a letter of intent to get that process started with the more in-depth audit with the schools. So I imagine he'll be signing that forthcoming if he hasn't already.
How long is it gonna take?
They said takes about 2 to 3 months to do that in-depth study and come up with the really hard numbers. So I imagine maybe we'll have something in December, if not by January. But certainly enough time to work whatever into our budget. Next, we have the resolution policy. April, I'll let you kind of kick this off, if you will.
Sure. So Supervisor Smith wanted to have a bridge renamed within the county, and we've done the research to have that done. As part of that, I wanted to bring up to the board back in 2021, you guys adopted a policy of not adopting resolutions that were not legally binding in any way. And so we certainly can move forward with the bridge, but we'd need some direction from this board. Do you just want to vote? What are the parameters? Or do you want to make an exception to adopt a resolution to do so? It's the first step in a process for VDOT they'll need some action of this board to move forward with the naming of the bridge. So that could either be by the resolution, or we could offer them a vote from the board.
What normally, because I know with like, highway markers and things like that, there's a whole process to go through with like historical markers and things like that.
Right, but that's a little different than this memorial naming that we that we can do.
Is there any kind of, I guess I'm not sure, are there other processes that we should be following that historically happen with that kind of thing?
This is the first time I've been involved in naming of a bridge, so
Well, Bud,
I
you've been
can't
here
give
the
you any
longest, so-
historical content. Naming of roads and things like that are already outlined, so we have a process to follow for that, and we do it with some regularity. So this would just be which action would the board like to take in order to make this happen, if you want to do it. So far, it's only been a directive from Supervisor Smith, but it's really up for discussion of all the board members of how you'd like to proceed.
I'm just opening up, just bear with me a second.
That's no problem. Because when I mentioned it, we had been talking about it at a couple of board meetings. A couple of you, including yourself, said I wasn't aware that that was a request of the board.
I know traveling around a lot, I've seen it in New County where bridges, overpasses and things like that are dedicated to, especially law enforcement and all
Right.
that. My great concern, Angela Jack Stevens, great person to honor, would be wonderful to do that, but I don't want to open a Pandora box where, somebody comes in and requests that we name it the Mickey Mouse Bridge somewhere or whatever, something that's not as noteworthy as this request here. So whatever the policy that we come up with, it'd be interesting to see what other counties have as in the way of policies to draft that, to have a consistent policy so that when somebody comes in with a request that that may not be worthy as this is or something like that, that we have something to back us on that, because I could easily see where people would come in and, why can't I, and, you name this bridge after this person, why can't I name this bridge or get a resolution to do this one? And, we need something solid to be able to back that up.
Right.
What'd you say?
I'm just being facetious. I'm just saying, we don't have any more bridges.
Oh, I thought you said to name the bridge after yourself. No. It's really the desire of the board. The process belongs to VDOT. It's just, do you want it to move forward, and then what are your parameters of recommending it?
Has there been requests, Bud, since you brought this up, has there been a request from the community to do this?
It's,
That was some made the request.
I know, I don't know if it's King and Queen or King William, but the Walkerton Bridge is named for Latney Trice. And, so I don't know what the process was they went through, but that's a close by bridge.
I'm still of the feeling that, unless it's something that we have, some legal obligation or legal authority over, that we don't just adopt resolutions. We can do proclamations and things like that, but I kind of stick to our policy that we adopted before, because I remember we got into the drafting a resolution for Chinese organ harvesting, and it just spirals out of control.
Is there an interest of the board to vote on the recommendation of the name for the bridge that then goes forward to VDOT, or do you want to set up parameters of what you consider before submitting support of a renaming or an honorary naming of a marker? That's really what's up for discussion.
As I said, I'm up for those, having our guardrails and rules set up, and then making the recommendation, rather than getting into that situation where we did before and then have to change policy or something like that. It's just better to have our ducks in a row ahead of time. That's my opinion.
I tend to agree with that.
I was just approached and they asked if it could happen, and I said, I don't know. I checked with April, and she said, check the,
It can
State.
happen as far as the board showing support for the naming to be considered, and then if this board takes an action to do that, we would submit it to VDOT, and then it's in their hands if they do it. I don't think that they would, challenge it after it receives a recommendation from the board, but it's really up to the board if they want to make that request.
Yeah, I'd like to have our process that we, if there's something to be considered, or does anybody else get considered for that? So
Right.
I'd like to think that we're being inclusive of all when we, to our constituents, we adopt this resolution. Nothing to take away about any particular person, I feel like we're missing a piece that we're not following.
Yeah, having a process in place makes a lot of sense, so.
So maybe we could, research maybe what some other
Sure.
localities do and rely on,
Like different criteria to
Right.
consider? Okay.
and then if we have that process, then whatever it can be can follow that process. Somebody can make a request and a notice could go out and
Okay.
whatever that is.
I can take that directive and bring that back to the board.
Board, you all okay with that?
The other question would be to find out from VDOT, once you name a bridge, is that forever? Doesn't change? Does it sunset after 20 years, 50 years, whatever? And what is the process, some point down the line, somebody might want to name it after something else or change
Yeah.
it or something like that? Is there a policy procedure for that? I don't want to, create a problem. Yes, I will be dead and gone one of these days, and this county is to be here. I don't want to set up a problem for somebody down the road.
No, I understand. We haven't had this request in the past while I've been here, but within the past 2 years, the board was approached to either support or not the renaming of a particular creek. And what the board decided to do was we will not recommend nor oppose your pursuit of that, but we will not weigh in on it to not take away from who it was named after previously. And that
And
was
is-
the letter that went out on behalf of the board.
And is this the procedure, that it has to come from the county as a resolution and a request before VDOT
Has
will
to come from the
consider?
board. That's
Okay.
right. Yeah.
Okay. So you can't go directly to the state and say, will you rename this bridge?
Not according to our residency advisor. It would have to be a request of this board
Okay,
that you want to name it.
just asking.
Yeah.
We're gonna do all this for a bridge, y'all gonna go crazy when I try to rename the county after me.
I'll vote for that.
It'd probably be a little easier, but
But I laugh.
But, sorry to tell you, Bud, there's already a Smith County, sorry about
Yeah.
that.
It's spelled differently, though.
True, I didn't want to say that.
Carol would like the idea.
I know.
But hearing nothing more, we've given that directive. Could I get somebody to move us into closed session?
Okay. I move that Essex County Board of Supervisors convene in closed meeting pursuant to Code of Virginia, Section 2.2, 3711A3, for discussion or consideration of the acquisition of real property for a public purpose, and that the disposition of public held real property where discussion in open meetings would adversely affect the bargaining positioning or negotiating strategy of the board related to purchasing agreement, lease and use agreements, a potential property acquisition, public facilities, and pursuant to Section 2.2, 3711A7 for consultation with legal counsel and briefing by staff members or consultants pertaining to actual or probable litigation where such consultation or briefing in the open meeting would adversely affect the negotiating or litigating posture of the public related to Essex Circuit Court Case Number CL 23-135, CL 24-169, CL 24-187, CL 25-50, CL 25-171, CL 25-174, and CL 25-182. Second?
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. We're going to closed session. Get a motion to reconvene in open session.
So move.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
If we'll get a roll call, please.
Chairman Akers,
Present.
Vice Chairman Gill,
Present.
Supervisor Johnson,
Here.
Supervisor Magruder,
Present.
Supervisor Smith.
Present.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Get somebody to read the compliance certification, please.
Whereas the Essex County Board of Supervisors has convened a closed session on this date pursuant to an affirmation recorded vote and in accordance with the provision of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, and whereas Section 2.23712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the board that such closed session was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now, there be it resolved that the board hereby certified that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements of the requirement of Virginia law were discussed in closed session, to which this certification resolution applies. Two, only such public business matter as were identified in the motion by which the closed session was convened was heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting by the board.
Any member who believes that there was a departure from the requirements of clause 1 and 2 shall state the substance of that departure, that in his judgment has taken place. Hearing none, April, you certify the board, please.
Chairman Akers,
I certify.
Vice Chairman Gill,
I certify.
Supervisor Johnson,
I certify.
Supervisor Magruder,
I certify.
Supervisor Smith.
Certify.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. No other actions come out of our closed session, so with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned till 7. Look at that, just in time.